Hey there, I just got home from my second training session and I thought I'd quickly jump on here and just shoot a quick little video on how to balance your strength training with your endurance training. Now, something that a lot of people struggle with, and I myself did for a long time, was how do I balance my strength training and my endurance training? Number one, you need to get clarity. And what I mean there, we hear about this in all sorts of avenues of life. You need to get clear on what you're trying to do. You need to get clear on what you want to accomplish. Same thing goes with your training when you're trying to balance your strength training with your endurance training. You need to get clear on what is it you're trying to accomplish. Are you doing this to improve your overall physical fitness and health? Or are you doing this because you're looking to prepare for an endurance event such as a half marathon or marathon? Or is this a multi-sport event that you're looking at, such as a triathlon? Or is this going to be something that requires more strength endurance or a combination of strength and endurance, such as an obstacle course race? So once you can get very clear on what the outcome is that you're looking for and what you're trying to accomplish, we can tailor make your training program to you so that you can achieve those results. The second thing that you need to work on, or need to know, I should say, is what do you personally need to work on? Is it your strength that you need to improve, or is it your endurance that you need to improve? Now, myself being a runner, and that's where I started, was half marathon, marathon, and then branched over into obstacle course racing. I found that I didn't need to necessarily work on the endurance piece as much because I've built up that endurance from all the training and prepping for different races and events. But when it came to crossing over into an obstacle course race, I found I needed to work on strength training. And like most runners, we don't work a lot on our strength training because we're worried about having too much weight to carry around during the event. We want to try and be lighter. We want to try and be faster. We want to try and be comfortable because the heavier you are, the bigger you are, I should say, the more energy and effort it takes to complete that event. Now, vice versa. If you're someone who has focused all your training on strength, such as, say, a bodybuilder, where your whole goal is to build muscle, build size, and essentially become as big as a house, or as big as you can get, you don't necessarily focus on your endurance training. I find they tend to actually shy away from their endurance training because they don't want to impact how fast or how efficiently they build size and definition. However, unless you're going to be a professional bodybuilder, or you're looking to become a bodybuilder, or you just want to be built like a brick shithouse, you should be working on your cardio. It's amazing how many big guys and women that are into the bodybuilding or into powerlifting or just want to build size, you always hear them say, I can't run that far. I don't really work on my distance training or my cardio. You look at them, you see them, they're big, they're full of muscle. You think they're physically fit, which they are to a degree, but their physical fitness is more strength and image. You get them out there, they go to run, and they can't even run 10 feet, 50 feet without looking like they're going to have a stroke or a heart attack. And that's because they've neglected to work on their cardio training or their endurance training. So like I said, unless you're going to be a bodybuilder, you should incorporate endurance training into your program. What we need to do, or what you need to ask yourself, goes right back to getting clear. What am I doing this for? You can be lean, ripped, and shredded and still have excellent cardio and endurance. You don't have to be that stereotypical looking bodybuilder or power lifter or whatever images that you draw to mind when you think of someone who struggles with their cardio. The last thing that we need to work on, or need to acknowledge, I should say, is time. Now, I'm going to talk about time management later on in a different video, but time is still an issue here, and time is a factor. Now, we all have lives, we all have jobs. I hear this all the time. I don't have time to fit one training session in, never mind 2 or multiple training sessions. But I'm here to tell you that unless you're training for something such as a triathlon, where you're going to need to do strength training as well as rotate between 3 different cardio types of exercises, that being running, biking, swimming, because you're going to need to build your endurance in all 3 of those to get ready to do one of those events, you can build both your endurance and your strength very easily and get results. Now, you don't need to always necessarily do double duty by doing a cardio session and a strength training session. Depending on what you're doing this for, like I said, if you're doing for this for your own physical fitness, you can rotate. One day do strength, one day do endurance, another day do strength, another day do endurance, whatever that looks like for your schedule. If you're looking to do an event, then you might want to double up a little bit. But again, you don't have to do 2 separately large workouts. You can do a combination workout where maybe the first half hour you do some strength training, the next half an hour you're working on some endurance training, or switch it up. The point is, we all have time constraints, whether they are real or perceived. You can get ready for all these different types of events with putting in the work. Putting in the work doesn't mean spending hours of endless time training. It's about the quality of training that you do and the effort you put in when you're in the gym. So if you're present and focused on your workout, whether that be an endurance training or a strength training, it doesn't matter if it takes you an hour or you spend 2 hours. You're still going to get the results and be prepared for whatever it is that you're looking for. So, question for you. What is it that you've been focusing on more? Have you been focusing more on strength training or endurance training? Comment below and let me know. I'd like